Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join today. We're super excited to introduce Moriah to the Connecticut Sun media community. If you have any questions for Moriah, she'll just turn on her camera quick and we'll get started. Just raise your hand if you have a question. Gavin, go ahead.
Hi, Moriah.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good, thanks. How do you think you've grown and developed as a player in your 7 years in the league?
A lot. For me, I think the game has just kind of slowed down. When you continue to play in this league, there's so many different players that are coming in and out. But for me, just the leadership aspect, learning how to slow the game down, getting to my spots, and being more aggressive offensively as well as defensively.
What about as a person?
As a person, I mean, I've been through a lot. It's not an easy league to stay in, and being able to play with so many different great players, I think it's grown my game a lot. As a person, just learning how to stay grounded no matter what situations that I'm in.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Emily, go ahead.
When you found out that you were coming back to Connecticut, what was the reaction like from you? Have you been back in touch with Coach, any old teammates or anything from UConn since you got the news?
Yeah, I was really excited. I was actually here the week before everything happened for the UConn reunion for the championship. So seeing everybody was great, and then getting the news for me, it was just kind of like a full circle moment, especially with Morgan, being here as the assistant GM. You can't really ask for a better situation for me. Our 4 years in college were incredible. So being so close to UConn, I think is going to be a good opportunity for me to get a chance to kind of go back there as well.
Have you and Morgan stayed close over the years since you've been in the league?
Oh, of course. We still have our group chat, me, Morgan, and Stewie. We check in on each other, and we stay close throughout this entire time.
Thank you, Emily. Christine, go ahead.
Hey, Moriah, thanks for hopping on today. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So when you said that you came back for the reunion for the 13-14 team, when you think about you playing in Connecticut now as a pro versus getting to watch the collegiate team still carrying on that legacy, just what does it feel like to be in a different place, but also seeing that UConn is still having a ton of success?
I mean, it's great. Anytime you're in Connecticut, it feels like a family. I think there's such a huge crossover from Suns fans and UConn fans. So for me, every time I come back to Connecticut and I play in Mohegan, I always get a really good cheer from the crowd. So I'm excited to get a chance to be back here, not playing for UConn, but playing for the Sun. And it's really fun to see how my game has grown from college to now, and to be able to get a chance to show the fans that.
Thanks, Christine. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, Moriah, going off that a little bit, this team started playing much more read and react this last year, which is starting to get a little bit more in vogue in the league, but it's a very different style than what you guys were doing in Phoenix last year. So in terms of getting acclimated, I know obviously practice is not here yet, but in terms of trying to get your head wrapped around what that might look like this year, what has that been like?
Well, I love playing read and react type of basketball. It's easier. It's not really cookie cutter robot type of basketball. You have a lot of different flows, different reads. Playing with AT and DB, I think that'll be really easy to do. Obviously practice isn't here, and we haven't had a chance to be in the gym together yet, but I think that type of system, that type of flow is a better offense, because now it's free flowing and everybody can play kind of in the system that they want to play in.
Most definitely. And I also want to ask you, I know you just started up a 3-step program recently. I
Mhm.
want to ask what that's been like for you, and what you're most excited about with the Adidas circuit coming up.
I'm super excited. I mean, I was homeschooled growing up, so AAU is kind of where I got my stardom at. I wouldn't have got the looks that I did, wouldn't have got to UConn without AAU. So for me, it's just about giving back to the kids. They love it so far. Getting a chance to go to practices and be in the gym with them has been really exciting for me. So I can't wait to see the next step there, and I hope they have a good year.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Christos, go ahead.
Hello, Moriah. Hope you're doing well, first of all. How you vision yourself in the team in the upcoming season on and off the floor, and what result will make you satisfied at the end?
Sorry, the last question?
Yeah, what result will make you satisfied at the end from pure standpoint?
Yeah, for me, it's just about coming in, asserting myself with the team. I'm always been a point guard, which that assumes a leadership role, but every team that you go to, coaches and players need you to do something else. So for me, it's about seeing what I can be the most successful on this team, where they need me at, that everybody can kind of glue and gel together.
Thanks, Christos. Jalen, go ahead.
I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. Hi,
You're
Moriah. I
good.
just wanted to ask you more so about like your skill set development over the last couple of years coming into this environment now. What do you think you've grown into the most in terms of style of play and how you think that'll translate on this new team having to adapt to another new environment?
Yeah, obviously, in the last 2 years, I think my biggest part of my game has been pick and roll offense. For me, really wanted to expanding that out to the three more. Obviously, you see the game is changing. So really working on that. 2 years ago, I think I had probably my best shooting percentages from the three.
Mm-hmm.
So just expanding on that, continue to move my shot further out. But obviously, pick and roll game is where I thrive at.
Thanks, Jalen. Howard, go ahead.
Hey, Moriah, great to see you always.
Good to see you.
I have two big picture questions, if I could. The first is just having a couple of years under your belt, the last 2 years, where you've been able to play full seasons, where you've been able to be healthy and play big minutes. How much does that do for your confidence as you think about what you can bring to Connecticut in 2024? How does it change kind of your mindset day to day?
Yeah, I think my mindset has always been the same. For me, I'm going to show up every single day, work as hard as I can, play as hard as I can. I know that I've dealt with injuries in the past, but my biggest thing was not letting that affect my confidence. I think being fully healthy, my game was able to show more. But just going through so much, it's a lot of ups and downs in the WNBA career. It's not hard. I mean, it's not easy to kind of stay in this league. For me, keeping that confidence level high is always important, and I've done my best to do that.
And obviously, you've been a championship player. That's always been a major focus of what you're looking for. Just wondering, when you sort of set those goals for you as you enter your 30s in this league, where are those goals and how did Connecticut and joining Connecticut align with those goals for you?
Yeah, well, I've won on every level except the WNBA. So obviously I want to get a championship. That's never an easy thing to do. We're playing the hardest league in the world, but for me, that's my end goal. So coming here, I want to do whatever I can to make this team better and to get as close as possible to that goal. And my thing has always been taking it one day at a time. You can't look too far ahead and you can't look in the past. You just have to keep moving forward.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Howard. Noah, go ahead.
Thanks for taking the time. Was just going to ask also on the injury question. Obviously, there were a couple of years there that you missed significant time. How did that impact your mentality at all? Do you feel like that changed, your approach to the game? Kind of, do you take things less for granted now, or do you feel like it really was just something you had to overcome and you're at the same place you were beforehand, just healthy again?
Yeah, I mean, I think since I was a kid, I've always been overlooked just because I'm so small. And so going through injuries, that was another thing where I've heard, oh, is she good enough to come back? For me, it's about one day at a time, small goals. So getting off of a crutch, that's a small goal. Taking a step, that's a small goal. And I celebrated those things as if I was on the court. And I think for me, doing those things helped me when I get back on the court, with my confidence, with my mentality of understanding that basketball is what I do, and I love to play, so I'm not going to take one day off or one day for granted.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Any other questions for Moriah? Gavin, go ahead.
Right. When you join a team at this point, what sort of things do you do to prepare for when you really get together for practice? Do you watch a lot of video of the team last year? What do you do?
Yeah, I like to get in a lot of film. I like to get the playbook early. For me, it's really important for me to know what everybody else does on the court, just so I can make sure I'm putting them in the right positions to be successful. Watch a lot of film, try to talk to the players too about what they like, where they like to be on the court, what's their favorite type of plays. That way I always have 3 or 4 plays in my head constantly going so I can be ready for the next pass or the next read.
Thank you.
Thank you. Howard, go ahead.
Moriah, you mentioned smaller guards, and I'm wondering if you've had a chance to see Hannah Hidalgo play in person and, what you make of her game and her ability to not just dominate the way she has at Notre Dame, but potentially at the next level also.
Yeah, I got to see her play live when I went back to Connecticut, to UConn not too long ago. She's a really good player. She's got a really passionate game. She plays extremely hard every possession on defense and offense. And I think when you are a smaller guard, playing defense the way she does helps you a lot. So I wish her nothing but success on the next level. And I hope she has a long and healthy career.
Thank you.
Christine?
So kind of on the same vein there, when you went back to UConn, you got to see Nika Mule, and from one point guard to another, what did you like in her game, and how do you see her kind of progressing into the next level?
Yeah, I just think she has a strong mindset. You know, it's not easy playing for Gino. And one day you'll be playing 40 minutes, the next day and you might play 10. So for her, just keeping her mind consistent, staying positive, got a chance to talk to her, you know, a few times, whether if it's on Instagram or in person. And she's just a great kid. You can tell she loves the game. She wants to do well. But the biggest thing when playing for coach is just you staying focused on the right goal and not worried about messing up. And that's kind of the advice that I've given her.
Thank you.
Thanks. Jalen, go
problem.
ahead.
Yeah, Moriah, another question I wanted to ask you is you're joining a pretty veteran-laden team, right? DeWanna Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, Brianna Jones. Like what does that feeling more so like for you? How do you feel going into that kind of environment with so many veteran leaderships around, being able to step in and kind of come into an environment where you can just do what you do best?
It's exciting. I've been on a lot of teams where it's not necessarily like that. It's a lot of younger guys, and even coming into the league, I didn't have any vets. I had one vet, Jane Appel. So being able to play with a team who's already established, who knows exactly what they have to do, it just makes your job as a point guard a lot easier. For me, listening to them, what's important for them, they already know their bodies, know their roles on the court. So as a point guard, it's kind of your dream.
Any other questions? Okay, Moriah, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you all for joining. We look forward to speaking with you all soon.
Thanks, guys. Nice talking to you all.
Thank you.